My guest today is Janis Glassop, mum and serial people helper. Janis, tell us, how do you help people in your work right now?
As a financial planner and insurance specialist, I help people to organise their finances, to make sure their super's working appropriately towards retirement, that they're not overspending. But also, I really love helping people with claims when they've had a nasty accident or something's gone wrong in their life, and we're able to assist them to get some money to take that stress and worry out of their lives. That's wonderful. Yeah.
What I've really loved about our conversation is how we have worked through honesty and integrity, and what brings Janis to this point where she can help others. It's fabulous. I'm Robin Cook. This is Stories from the Red Couch. Stay right to the end. I know you'll love it. Janis, in talking with you about the enormity of what you've done over your life, I get a real sense of someone who is determined, clear about what it is that you expect of others, and this incredible inner strength and resilience to forge through things and create something for yourself. Can you just tell us, and there's so much there, it's incredible, like we could talk for hours, where do you think you've got this inner strength and resilience from?
I'd have to say from my mum, who taught me from a very early age that there are people who need your help, and you can't wallow around in your own self-pity. My father died when I was young, and we just all had to pitch in and help out. I was the youngest of 5, and I think my mum really put me in a really good position to be able to weather the storms and to make some good decisions. She was a staunch advocate. She was the best mentor that one could ever ask for.
That's fantastic. And how have you, I mean, mums are just so important, aren't they, in our lives?
Yes.
They really are. Mine was. Yeah. And you're a mum, so tell me a little bit about your children.
My children, okay, my beautiful girls, Alison and Jennifer, who, Jenny is now 38 years old. Alison, if she was still with us, would be turning 40 this month. Mm-hmm. So she passed away in 2011. Both my girls were born with a degenerative genetic condition called Sanfilippo Syndrome, which sort of mimics Alzheimer's in a way, where they just progressively lose skills, both intellectual and physical. Mm. And initially we were told they wouldn't live past 15, but my girls beat the odds. Yes. So Ali was like nearly 32 when she passed away, and Jenny's now 38. And very disabled, but still going strong. She's an amazing young woman.
That's fantastic. And so you've really had to be an advocate on their behalf and stand up and be their voice. Mm. I mean, we've got the NDIS now.
Yes.
We haven't had that for all that long. How have you had to battle through to get the support that you've needed for the girls?
NDIS is one of the problems with NDIS is that most of the people that are operating NDIS have no idea what they're doing. And I say that with the utmost of respect for the ones that do. Mm. And we've been extremely lucky that we now have an absolutely amazing planner. So we've just been through our first review, and our planner here that we have in Queensland has just really pulled out all the stops and has funded for a new wheelchair for Jenny because her current one's falling to pieces, and they're a rather costly
Expensive,
item.
Yes.
Extra hydrotherapy, a whole lot of other things, but the NDIS can be a real nightmare if you don't know what you're doing, but finding people that do know what you're doing, and we use an auspicer here in Woombye, parent to parent.
Oh yes, they're fabulous.
Brilliant.
Aren't they?
Absolutely brilliant.
We love them, I know them well.
I could talk about them for hours as well, so there's lots of things I could talk on, but those ladies and gentlemen that work at parent to parent are brilliant.
Yes.
And Jenny's now in care with Wesley mission in Tewantin, and again, they need to run lessons for every service provider for disabilities in Australia and show them how it should be done, because they are just amazing. Amazing.
In redefining your work area too, I mean, you've got all of that personal life going on, but you're a working woman and you've worked in some really mostly people-focused areas, haven't you? Yeah, and helping. And that's obviously coming from your childhood with your mum advocating for you to be a helper. What have you done just in the last few years that has given you a great deal of joy?
Oh, I think helping people who are in financial difficulty, and that's a lot of the clients that I've had through being a financial planner, ones who are spending more money than they earn, and helping them to understand what they're doing and how to remedy that situation and see a path forward. I think I also receive a great deal of satisfaction from helping people who are going through claims. One of the most difficult parts of being a financial planner is doing the personal insurance side of things, and when I build quite a good rapport with my clients and we become friends, and then when you get that phone call that says I've been diagnosed with cancer or I've been diagnosed with severe rheumatoid arthritis and I'm never going to be able to work again, it's heartbreaking, but it's also very fulfilling to know that the work I did is going to put them in a position where they won't have to worry about money. And having your life turned upside down like that, the last thing you want to worry about is money. So if we've got your insurances all sorted out appropriately, it's a really good feeling when you can go and hand over that $600,000 cheque and say, you've got no mortgage anymore, darling. I know your husband's just passed away, but you don't have to worry about that.
It's a tricky thing, isn't it? I mean, financial literacy is tough, and not everyone has it. And it's immensely embarrassing when you find yourself in financial distress.
And I think that happens more often than we realise.
I think so. It's one of those
so many people,
hidden conversations, isn't it?
It's people just don't want to talk about it because, as you say, they're embarrassed. That's why we've actually started a program of financial wellness. So we actually go into businesses and talk to the staff. We advise them, or give general advice, of course, on how they can improve their superannuation situation, how they can ensure that they've got the right insurances, so that if Dad does fall off the roof and break his leg, Mum and the kids are still cared for because he can't work. So it's helping people understand the little things that they can do as well to ensure that when they get to the more mature age, that their superannuation is in a position where you feel comfortable with retiring. A lot of people, especially self-employed people, don't think about the whole super thing. It can be, I'll sell my business, that will be my super. And they think their business is worth $1 million. It goes on the market for $500 and they get an offer of $275. And that's just doesn't cut it when it comes to retirement. So it's educating people is a really, really important facet of what we do. And we don't do that with the thought that how much are we going to get out of this in business. So
it's that's the other thing, isn't it?
Because side of it.
I think that, financial advisors and insurers and that whole industry, it's very hard for the average person to place a lot of trust in there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I certainly have questions around honesty and integrity and all of those words. How do you build trust so that people come to you?
I think by being open and honest, and I think that's something that we're extremely lucky with. Our principal is an amazing chap who you haven't met yet, and I think you will. Customer focus and providing more than service, just that.
The service that you're being paid for.
It's not just a service. I mean, everybody gets paid to do their job.
Sure.
But we frequently get people saying, "Thank you so much. You just went more than you did more than we expected." And yes, it is my job, but if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it the right way. And I can't go to sleep at night if I'm worrying about, oh my gosh, I've just sold that person a plan and I don't think they can pay for it. They can't afford that insurance. What's going to happen to them? just my conscience won't allow me to do that. And we're really lucky that our principal is very, very high in ethics, very, very high in client engagement and making sure that we do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah. How do you build community in a business like financial advising and insurance?
We do quite a bit of community service, I'll call it. We do fundraising. We last year as a group we got behind, there was a thing on the radio. I listen to CFM in the mornings, and Barat and Jess back then were talking about doing a half K marathon, and they wanted sponsors for this thing. And I was coming to work and I've got hands-free in my car, very quickly rang Tim, my principal, and said, this is what it is. It's an auction. Mm-hmm. Can I bid? And he's like, how much? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's an auction.
And he said, go up to $2,000. I'm like, wow. Okay, on. Hung up. And I bid $1,500, and then someone actually bid well past that. And then the presenter came back to me and said, would you be prepared to sponsor me to run in the marathon? I said, absolutely, we will do that. And then as a team, the whole office, all 16 of us with our kids in tow, including my daughter in her wheelchair, we all came down, we set up a little tent, we were handing out different bits and pieces, and we all ran around the track, and I pushed Jenny around that track in a wheelchair, which was quite difficult, I tell you. But that's just one thing that we've done. Yeah. I wore a wig for a month, a brunette wig for a month, to raise money for the Sanfilippo Children's Foundation, and my business was right behind me in doing that. I raised over $5,000, and that was wonderful to go towards clinical research. We're currently looking at I'll call it a partnership for want of a better word, with Bloomhill. They're in Buderim. Our office is in Buderim. Our principal has had cancer. I've got two sisters who've had breast cancer. We're very much on wanting to give back, and how can we gain community awareness for things other than financial planning. So we actually, I won't call it a reward system, but we have a system at work where if you do stuff outside of work hours, it's nothing to do with work, but to do with community engagement and helping in the community in any way, shape or form, we're rewarded. Not monetarily, but we might get some extra time off, we get taken out for meals.
That's lovely, isn't it?
And it's a really wonderful culture to be involved in. I love it.
So how do you 16 in the business, is that right?
We've got 16 employees all up. Yeah,
so how does that, how is the culture within that? Because, some businesses have got the most amazing culture and everyone really feels that team spirit, and then other businesses, less so.
I think in our business, we're all friends, we're all mature adults who know how to have a good time, but we also know that there's a job that needs to be done, and we assist and help each other. It's a real teamwork thing with our guys. We're very varying ages. I'm the nana of the shop, which that's okay. I think our youngest member, crikeys, would probably be late 20s. So we've got quite a varying age bracket. But we all like to have a good time, but we're all very focused on providing the top level of care and quality to our clients. So I think and it's having the principle of the business who allows us to all have a bit of a laugh. And we get a neck massage once a month. We get, we've got a beautiful coffee machine. There's always chocolates on the kitchen bench, or we have drinks on the deck once a quarter where we can invite community members, friends, family, and the boss puts on drinks and nibbles, and we're always doing community, it just things together, so which I think brings us all together as a team and makes us work really well, and we understand that certain members of our team, again, with our strengths and weaknesses, we support each other. So there's never I know that's not my job, don't ask me. It's always, how can I help?
Isn't that a fabulous thing?
Wonderful.
Now, the next thing and the last thing that I want to ask you about is how you've just rewritten, or no, not rewritten, but written a completely new job description. Tell me about that, because we are of a similar age and it is hard when you get to this less attractive end of your working life to stay relevant, to stay committed to what it is that you're doing and stay employed?
Well, I think because we've got such a great culture, I felt quite at ease with writing myself a new job description because there was a change needed because of industry requirements. And I just picked the best things out of all of my years of working life, which majoritively has been in either management or admin, and worked it all towards what we currently do in our business. And I wrote a list and said, this is what I think I can do and this is what I can bring to the business. And my boss said, we'll make something work. So that made me feel hugely valued because he could have just said, and I gave him an out, he could have just said, oh, look, I don't know that we'll be able to accommodate, we'll just have to see how we go. He could have done that quite easily. And I would have understood that, but I was extremely fortunate that he was, well, Janis, you've got enough goodwill here, we'll make something work. And the make something work isn't exactly the job description that I wrote. There might be 3 things out of the 12 that I listed or maybe a few more, but they came up with other things that are even better than I could have imagined, such as the Your Living Legacy video program that we do now, which is just absolutely brilliant. I love it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Because there's a lot of power in video.
Oh, my word. Absolutely.
Sharing your story and sharing the story of others.
And just the simple little things. Like I say, we use video a lot in our business as a means of communication with our clients, and we find that you're sending an email to someone and they don't respond, you send a video, they respond straight away. We send out little Christmas cheers and birthday cheers to all of our clients, and we always get the, oh, now who came up with that idea? So each Christmas we've got to do a new video, and we've done, last year was that silly dance that all the kids are doing, was it flossing?
I don't know.
I'd never heard of it.
Yes.
And when they said we're all going to floss, I was like, what, clean our teeth? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? So, and the year before was carpool karaoke.
Okay.
No, so we've done. So it's all a bit of fun. You should pop on our website.
I'll have to have a look. I will absolutely
have a look. Or our Facebook page. I think they're on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do some fun stuff at work. So
all right.
All makes for good culture.
Thank you, Janis. Thank you for coming and talking with me.
You're very welcome.
People want to find out more about where you are, where can they find you?
We on Facebook, Stream Financial, or on our website, which is www.streamfinancial.com.au, or simply call us at the office on 1300 983 942, and we'd be really happy to have a chat, just sit down and talk about what the possibilities are. So give us a call. You never know what you might find out.
Thanks, Janis. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Absolutely. There were a variety of reasons why we did this, and they all kind of came together as